Hey everyone, I'm so glad you're joining me today because we've got some exciting updates leading into Super Bowl 59, and it's all about the Kansas City Chiefs, specifically two of the most electric players in the NFL right now, Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. These two guys are ready to take the stage, and I've got some fantastic news to share about both of them that you won't want to miss. All right, now let's talk about Patrick Mahomes. We're heading into Super Bowl 59. And the Chiefs are slight favorites by about 1.5 points with the overset at 48.5 points. But let me tell you something. This isn't just any ordinary Super Bowl for Mahomes. When you break down the numbers, it's clear that this guy has everything working in his favor heading into the game. First, let's take a look at the spread. The Chiefs are favored by 1.5 points. It's a tight spread, which means this game is expected to be a nail biter. Patrick Mahomes has never lost a playoff game when he's either a favorite of under a field goal or an underdog. That's right. He's 8-0 in both straight up and against the spread in these types of situations. He's been in high pressure playoff games before, and every single time he's delivered. So while the Chiefs are only slightly favored in this game, that stat tells me that Mahomes thrives in these exact situations. But before we get into the details, hit the subscribe button, like this video, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for your support. And let's not forget about Mahomes' playoff pedigree. This guy has been absolutely sensational in the postseason. He's thrown for 43 touchdowns, only 8 receptions, and has a quarterback rating close to 106. He averages 278 yards per game in the playoffs with a completion rate of about 68. Those are insane numbers, and they show just how much Mahomes steps up in big games. What's even more impressive is that only 2 quarterbacks in the history of the NFL have ever beaten Mahomes in the postseason: Tom Brady and Joe Burrow. And that Burrow loss, it was in overtime. So Mahomes has been nearly untouchable when it comes to the playoffs. He's been in multiple AFC championships and Super Bowls, and he's shown time and time again that he can win on the biggest stages. Now, here's the real question for you. Do you believe Patrick Mahomes is going to do it again? Do you think he can lead the Chiefs to another Super Bowl victory? This is one of those moments where we need to hear from you. So drop a B for believe or a D for don't in the comments below and let us know what you think. Do you trust Mahomes to come through in the clutch once again? Personally, I think he's got everything he needs to get the job done, but I want to hear your thoughts. Now, let's shift gears and talk about Travis Kelce. This guy is a postseason legend, and he's been nothing short of spectacular in his career. Just like Mahomes, Kelce has been delivering in big moments year after year. Recently, Kelce sat down on his New Heights podcast with his brother, Jason, and shared some thoughts on his mindset going into this Super Bowl. And I've got to say, his mentality is exactly what you want to hear from your star player heading into the big game. He also knows that there are plenty of haters out there, people who are hoping to see the Chiefs fail and the dynasty come to an end. But instead of letting that outside noise get to him, Kelce's fully embracing it. He's enjoying the role of the villain. As he said on his podcast, I love it. I love it. At one point in time, it wasn't that I was the do you feel bad for them guy. I'm enjoying doing this with the guys together because it just makes us even more of a family. That mentality is exactly what you need to succeed in the postseason. Instead of letting the critics get under his skin, Kelce's using it as motivation. He's rallying the team together, and that sense of unity is what makes the Chiefs so dangerous. Now, we all know how good Kelce is on the field. This guy has been a postseason stud, averaging 85 yards a game with 20 touchdowns and over 2,000 yards in his playoff career. He's the guy the Chiefs turn to when the game is on the line, and he's delivered time and time again. In fact, one of his best playoff performances came just a couple of seasons ago when he went off for 115 yards and a touchdown in a divisional game against the Texans. Kelce thrives in these big moments, and he's proven it year after year. But here's the key to Kelce's success in this Super Bowl matchup. He needs the other receivers to step up. If the Chiefs can get other guys involved in the passing game, it's going to take the pressure off of Kelce and prevent the Eagles from being able to double team him. If the other guys can make plays, it'll force the Eagles to adjust their defense, and that opens up opportunities for Kelce to get open. The Chiefs have weapons like Juju Smith-Schuster, Xavier Worthy, and even Hollywood Brown, but one guy who could really help take the pressure off Kelce is DeAndre Hopkins. Where has he been? D-Hop has been quiet so far in the playoffs, and I'm hoping this is the game where he shows up and makes a big impact. The same goes for Noah Gray. This guy had a breakout regular season, but we've barely seen him in the playoffs. In fact, if the Chiefs can get those two involved, it'll make a world of difference. Now, let's shift our focus to the present because the Kansas City Chiefs are still very much in the Super Bowl hunt. And honestly, it feels like this is becoming an every year thing. It's like clockwork at this point. Every January and February, we see Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs playing their best football. The Chiefs are set to face off against the Philadelphia Eagles in Super Bowl 59, and I can already feel the excitement building. The Eagles are coming in hot, no doubt about it. They've got revenge on their mind after the Chiefs narrowly beat them 38-35 in the last Super Bowl. But here's the thing. The Chiefs have been in these kind of situations before, and they know how to handle the pressure. With Mahomes leading the way, the Chiefs have proven time and time again that they're built for moments like these. Mahomes is aiming for his 4th Super Bowl ring, which would be an incredible achievement before he even turns 30. And let me tell you, Mahomes is the type of player who thrives in these high-pressure situations, but it's not just Mahomes who makes this team so dangerous. The Chiefs have turned into an all-around powerhouse with one of the best offenses in the NFL, a defense that's been playing lights out, and special teams that can make a big impact. They're a well-rounded team, and that's something no one can take away from them. But what makes the Chiefs even more terrifying is Mahomes himself. He's like a magician on the field, and the way he can make plays when it looks like nothing's going to happen is nothing short of remarkable. Every time he has the ball, opposing defenses know they're in trouble. He's become the type of player who just instills fear in his opponents, and it's been like that for a while now. Mahomes is already being talked about in the same breath as Tom Brady and other all-time greats. If he wins this Super Bowl, I think it's safe to say that the conversation around him will shift into, is it the greatest of all time territory. But it's not just Mahomes. The entire Chiefs roster is stacked with talent. They've got weapons all over the place. And even though they've dealt with injuries this season, they continue to find ways to win. Travis Kelce might not have had his best regular season by his standards, but when the stakes are high, he always steps up. Look at his performance against the Texans in the divisional round, over 100 yards receiving. And even when he's not putting up big numbers, he's out there blocking and making crucial plays. The Chiefs don't just rely on their stars. They're a team that does whatever it takes to get the job done. Now, when you think about dynasties in sports, the New England Patriots come to mind. They've set the standard for sustained success. But let's be honest, the Chiefs are starting to take that mantle. Since 2018, no team has been as dominant in both the regular season and postseason as Kansas City. They've reached the Super Bowl 5 times in 6 years. They've won 3 championships in that span, and now they're aiming to make history with 3 straight Super Bowls. That's something no other NFL team has done before. The Chiefs are on the verge of becoming the greatest dynasty in modern football, and they've already cemented their legacy as one of the most dominant teams in the league. Now, I know not everyone likes the Chiefs. I'm not from Kansas City. I'm actually from New York, but I rep the Chiefs so hard. I've been to games in Buffalo, in New York, and in other places where it's mostly fans of other teams, and I'm always out there rocking my Chiefs gear. It's funny because no one here in Brooklyn supports the Chiefs, but I don't care. I'm all about Kansas City, and I'm proud to be a part of their fan base. And I've heard great things about Kansas City. The food, especially the barbecue, seems like it's on another level. I'd love to visit one day, but honestly, it doesn't matter if you're from Kansas City or not. You can't hate on this team. They've earned everything they've got, and they're playing at a level that we haven't seen in a long time. As for the future, we've got to talk about the possibility of Rashee Rice making a comeback. Now, this is a bit of a long shot, but there's been some chatter that he might be able to return for the Super Bowl. If he does, the Eagles better be worried. Rice had a tough injury earlier in the season, but he's been rehabbing, and some of his social media posts have given fans hope. But like I said, it's a long shot. The Chiefs have already been managing without him, but if Rice is able to play, that could be a huge boost for the team. So that's the rundown for today. The Chiefs are in the Super Bowl, and the future looks incredibly bright. Whether Kelce stays or leaves, the Chiefs have a plan in place. They've already shown that they're one of the greatest teams to ever play, and they're aiming to prove it again. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more updates. I've got a lot more to talk about, especially as the Chiefs push for that 3rd straight Super Bowl. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.